Alright, hey folks, everything new under the sun. Alright, this is going to be a short video. Apologize for that, but I got a lot going on. And I also did skip a part of this. But that's okay, you can purchase the ebook. The ebook is about $10. You can go to drdino, DRDINO.com and purchase this, like I say, for I think it's about $10. And it's Ken Hovind's What on Earth book, giving his understanding of the theology of the end times and the timing of events, specifically, or what most people are interested in, the timing of the rapture. And he believes post-tribulation, pre-wrath. So it's going to be pre-wrath because we're not destined for the wrath of God. But we are destined for persecution, and there is some great persecution coming, and that's what he believes. So this part is Appendix 5E. Satan is loosed, and then, like I say, it's a shorter section. We're just going to go through it and have a look at what he says, and then I'll hopefully be back to regular stuff next week, and we'll try and finish this ebook off and move to another extra biblical book. So let's have a look at it. So you can see 5E. So we've covered pretty much all the other sections, 4C, 4D, all the specific parts of the 70 tribulation periods, starting with the treaty. Then you have the falling away, and then Jacob's trouble, the great tribulation in the middle there, and then the 1,040 days of wrath. And then, so like I say, we're sitting at 5E here, where Satan is loosed, and we're looking ahead to the great white throne judgment. So very little is said about the event, except Satan is released after spending 1,000 years in the pit, not hell yet. I believe God does this that the world may know that Satan still has not repented. Some people will never they will never get it. They won't want to get it. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe God. And so no matter what God does, how many signs and wonders, what he does on earth, how much riches and blessing he provides, or how much punishment, some people are just adamant they will not accept God as the God of the universe. And but God has given them every opportunity for that. The rebellion in Satan's heart started with within the first 100 years or so of creation. From Genesis 1:31, we know everything was perfect at the end of day 6. So if everything was perfect, then Satan couldn't have been around causing problem. He couldn't have fallen. The angels couldn't have fallen. Genesis 1:31, and God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good, and the evening and the morning were the 6th day. We know in Ezekiel 28 that Satan was created, and we know from Exodus 20:11 that everything was created in 6 days. So Lucifer, who became Satan, was created during those first 6 days. Now, how many of you know that? Listen to that and understand that. Understand that Satan's created being. I wonder how many people actually really understand that he was, and that he was very likely created after God said everything was good, because God wouldn't say everything was good if it wasn't. Otherwise, he would be a liar. And there you go. Job 38:47 says, "The sons of God rejoiced when the foundations of the earth were laid." I take that to be on day 3 when the dry land appeared. So all angels and Lucifer must have been created on day 1 or 2. There could not have been a pre-Adamic Adamite civilization or a fall of Satan before 6 days of Genesis, for many reasons that are covered in my booklet, The Gap Theory. And so he gives the website there, drdino.com, you can see. We also see the progression of Satan's rebellious attitude in the 5 I will statements. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. He wants God's job. God will never show the world that his heart has not changed, even after 1,000 years of punishment. Some people will never learn. God will show the world that his heart has never changed. One of the interesting laws God gave Moses was about an ox that gores with his horns. The law was that the ox must be killed. Constantly eliminating aggressive behavior over time will rid the gene code of whatever bad gene causes rebellious behavior in oxes. That's interesting. And I think it works the same, obviously, which he's pointing to. It works the same in the human population. If the people who murder are killed, removed from the gene code, eventually the gene code will only have people who are calmer, more loving, less prone to murdering people. And I think that's part of it there. God also said rebellious children should be stoned. I'm not saying we should do this today, nor am I saying we should not do it, Kent says, wink, wink there. But if that was done, it would not take long to rid the gene code of whatever is causing rebellion, if it's genetic. For over 50 years, Russians have done selective breeding of foxes to get tame foxes. Wikipedia has a long article about this experiment. Soviet scientists set up an experiment in 1959. It continues to today at the Institute of Cytology and Genetics at Novosibirsk. They simply selected for tameness, and results were amazing. We covered the earlier fact that God often does things that they may know to expose what is already in the heart. If you do a search for computer for the word phrase may know, you will be amazed at the number of times it appears in God's word. On Judgment Day, no one will accuse God of being unfair. Not only will Satan's final release show the world that he has not changed, it will be a test to see if the people who lived during the time of peace have really been converted in their heart, that they may know. So the 1,000-year reign of Christ will really be a time to confirm if people really change their hearts or not. And they will at the end have the option to join Satan's army or join God's side. It will be easy to live for God when the devil is gone and Jesus is ruling from Jerusalem with a rod of iron. But when Satan is released, he is still able to raise up an army of many people who were never really converted in their hearts. So the Sunday Christians, the people, or the the sunny day Christians, those who were Christians when things were easy. But as soon as things get hard, or as soon as they have another option, these people are going to opt out. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together for battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and encompassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city, Jerusalem. And fire came down from God of heaven, and devoured them, and the devil deceived them. The devil that deceived them was cast in the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are. So they have already been tossed there, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Revelation 20. No one will be able to accuse God of being unfair, nor will they think things might have been different if only God gave them another chance. They will have had all sorts of time in the world to make their decisions, so there will be no excuse left over. Some have a deep-seated rebellion against God in their heart that no amount of logic, pleading, punishment, evolution, evidence for creation, no amount of evidence of creation, they could have all the evidence in the world, as they say. They could see God creating things, and still they will reject him. It seems that this rebellion is put quickly down and easily, and Satan is cast into the lake of fire. So that is the Satan is loosed section of it, and then we go into the great white throne judgment. So we'll go over that as well next week. So that is something really to sit down and ponder. What would you do if you lived, for 1,000 years? And it says, if you die less than 1,000 years, people will think you were so young during this period. When the time is peaceful and perfect and God is reigning, how do people still choose not to follow him, not to recognize him as the creator of the universe, and accept him as leader? But yet, people do, and people will join Satan's side as soon as Satan is loosed again, and then so we lead up to the final battle, basically, where God just says, "That's it. Your time is up. You've had enough time to figure it out, to decide," and he makes it known at that time, and does the final destruction at that time, and then we move into the heaven eternally. You can see here, eternal heaven, eternal lake of fire in parallel, and it goes on for eternity. No time there, peace with God. And so there you go. So like I said, I will continue this next week, and let's see, where we're getting near the end, near where the appendix or the end pieces are here, where they have all the charts, which are interesting, the parallel scriptures, etc. So pretty interesting there. Anyways, like I say, I'm going to stop it there, and you can get this ebook off Dr. Dot. I'm not sure if it's on Amazon, but it's about $10. I definitely recommend it, to go through it. You need to read through it and take your time, really grasping what it's saying, because I think there's a lot of truth, regardless of whether you believe his theology specifically about the timing of the rapture. Where is it here? Yeah, the timing of the rapture. Here, his rapture, just prior to the wrath of God, going into the marriage feast of the Lamb. So regardless of whether you believe that or not, I think the rest of his timeline is, pretty much what others believe as well. So it's pretty mainstream. So there's good stuff to be learned here, and that's what I'm trying to bring out. Just going through it, just getting it, hearing it, and taking it in. So thanks for watching, folks. I will leave it there, and we'll see you guys in the next video.